see everybody. Thank you for the invite. Thank you, Mr. Stanislavov, and especially thank you, Vice Minister, for your support. I'm saying this from the position of actually being the chairman of the board of the Technological School of Electronic Systems. We're actually grateful. So today we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence, then artificial general intelligence, which hypothetically might be with us or not, and then eventually we'll talk about the future. I was thinking of putting the presentation subtext as the future was 2 months ago. That's what I was thinking to put there. Our company Ethermind, and that's the only self-promotion here, we're building AI agents which act like your coworkers. So in the flow of work, we build agents which are proactive and talk like mentors, coaches, instructors, and so on. The reason I'm here, and I've been doing professional technological upskilling for 18 years, and I'm able to automate what humans used to do, is this one. So this is the most important chart in all of our lives. I'm sure many of you have seen it. This is Moore's law. It was coined in the 1960s by Gordon Moore, one of the co-founders of Intel. And basically he pointed out that every 18 months we have a doubling of the price performance of everything silicon-based. I am on purpose using this slide for the past 11 years. If you take a look at the top right corner, it says surpasses the brain power of a single human in 2023. Does anyone know what happened in the last day of November of 2022? ChatGPT came out. So we are on this exponential curve. And this is not the first exponential technology though. The first exponential technology on Earth is mammals. We have a doubling of the size of the brain of mammals until a certain moment. And this is Ilya Sutskever, one of the co-founders of OpenAI, pointing this out last December. I took this picture of him. If we zoom in, we can see the chart, and it shows that a 3-ton hippo has a 700-gram brain. However, humans, hominids, are on a separate curve, on a separate chart, meaning we get smarter with less body mass. But the problem is we have a limit, and the limit is about 1.5 liters of brain. No child can be born with a bigger head. That's the hardware problem. So we are facing this situation right now, where we have somewhat linear human. There is no real hardware difference between me and all of you and someone who lived 10,000 years ago, and an exponential technology. So for a number of things, we are at the point of computers being able to do things which were uniquely human before. And the reality is we no longer have just one single scaling law, one single law which doubles the price performance every 18 months. We sit on top of 3 scaling laws, and this is Jensen Huang. This is the founder and CEO of NVIDIA saying this a couple of months ago. There is 3 of them. So right now what we have is we have a doubling of the performance of AI models every 6 months. Please let that sit in. Every 6 months we have a doubling of the price performance. So last year, when I keynoted here, the smartest quote-unquote models, the smartest models, had an IQ of around 100. We had the GPT-4o model, multilingual, multimodal, it could understand pictures and so on. So it had the IQ of about 100, which is someone on the street. Right now we're at the stage of having O3, the latest model by OpenAI, with an IQ of 135. I'm sure many of you will say, okay, IQ is not like something which is unique, but you agree that if you have an IQ of 135, you probably will do well in life, right? So the reality is we already have smart models, and they're being announced, it's a cycle, they're being announced all the time. And the reality is that the world we will live in just a couple of years, will look like this. And I blurped the bad word on top. But that's the reality. If we define ourselves just by our computing capacity of the thing which sits in our brain, we're lost. The difference between a chimpanzee or an orangutan and Einstein is very small, and we will have this alien intelligence which will be helping us and working with us, and it will have an interface towards us. That's why it has the smiley face, so that we'll have this helper which will enable us to do great things. And I'll try to pursue that this will happen sooner than you think over the next couple of minutes. This is some quotes from very important CEOs in the software and e-commerce industry, so Shopify CEO, Fiverr CEO. The Fiverr CEO even said that robots are coming for even his job. So that's the reality. We'll have to change. Why now? Well, this is a chart from the International Monetary Fund. I'm not sure whether you can see it from the back, but basically the blue line shows the increase of income per human over the years. It's linear. This is the case where we don't have artificial general intelligence, meaning a model which can do most things which a human can perform on a computer. The yellow line is somewhat of a mellow trajectory of getting to artificial general intelligence, and the red line is an aggressive artificial general intelligence trajectory. So this is the International Monetary Fund. It's not me. This is out there in their reports. So in 2025, what's happening right now, dear people, is coding and some of the IT specialist jobs are already starting to go. We see it mainly in the software industry. I'm sure it will actually trigger down in the automotive industry. Our company, we actually let go of 6 developers. So instead of paying the salaries for those mid-level people, we're paying like several $100s of subscriptions to companies like Cursor and Windsurf and so on. Eventually, what will happen is that most jobs where someone does something on a computer will go, where we have a scalable efficiency, where the person isn't connecting some dots outside the computer part. We have agents with computer control, we have agents with browser control right now. So as long as it is some form of scalable efficiency, think of it as it's gone. It's just a matter of an Excel modeling in some sheet. So you need a moat. You need to find something where you're unique and there is like this tacit knowledge which is not documented somewhere and it's not read by the models. This is what's happening at Microsoft. That happened a couple of weeks ago. The people who worked on their AI systems were actually fired and replaced by the same AI systems. This was about 6,000 people about 2 weeks ago, and this is just the beginning. All those very large companies are being directed towards more and more profit as we speak. So they'll become even more aggressive over the next couple of years. This is what's happening in the Silicon Valley. There is this startup, for example, Firecrawl, which is a crawler, something which reads web pages. They're looking to hire AI agents and pay for up to $1 million for each of them. So right now we're at the stage where it's just an equation, a calculation in some CFO, and at some point we decide, okay, maybe this person, maybe this person, we don't need them. So really the measure of intelligence, as Einstein said, it's not our IQ, it's our ability to change. That's the reality right now, and we have to adapt. We don't have time. How do businesses adapt in the US? This is a report which came literally a week ago. Well, the main 2 ways they adapt is they train their staff to use AI in all shapes and forms, and they implement all kinds of AI tools which are specific for the business. And then they develop new workflows. Because if you look at it, it might be that some workflow is designed in the age where the data transfer, the machine used for data transfer was a fax. Right now we have data transfer, in the trillions of bytes per second. So right now agents talk to each other. So maybe we need to look at redesigning some workflows. The other reality is that hard skills like programming, for example, they're becoming soft and they have a very short, useful half-life. Whereas at the same time, the soft skills, which historically by our engineering education have been discarded, they are actually very difficult to build. But we need to work in teams and we need to have the empathy and we need to actually be able to work in hybrid teams even with agents, because those agents are based on people. So we'll need to work with them as well. This is a chart from LinkedIn from a week ago. Showing jobs which are being currently disrupted, jobs which were being augmented. So we give a tool to someone and they do the job better, they're more productive, and jobs which are insulated. Basically, if you're a plumber or a plochkađija, good to go for the next 30 years, I guess. In 2026, next year, we'll see major business model disruptions in all creative industries, video, music, online customer-facing industries. We'll see the first real scientific discoveries by models like the AlphaFold 3, a model which was created by Demis Hassabis, one of the co-founders of Google's AI lab, and they're predicting proteins. So basically, they're able to program life. That's what's happening. We have AI integration in medical and bio scenarios, and some people venture to say, like this very famous doctor, that in some point, okay, maybe in Bulgaria not in 2026, but maybe by 2030, we will not be able to get diagnosed just by a doctor. We'll have to be diagnosed by an AI. Because with a doctor in Bulgaria, we're looking at a 50% error chance in some diagnoses. So we have augmented reality glasses pretty much everywhere. This is on your left is Google's glasses, which they announced a couple of weeks ago. Display, which is invisible to the outside, but inside you can see pictures, movies, charts, maps, and so on. So think of it. You're meeting someone, you're like, oh, right, who was this person? Well, this person is X, and then you get a reminder. Same thing with Meta. And I want to show you an automotive show which never existed.
Welcome to a non-existent
well, we don't. It'd be good if we had sound.
I mean, man, the acceleration is crazy. You look far, step on the pedal, and you are there.
I feel safe with him in an SUV, and it seems to be like the right type of car for him.
I think the range is only going to get better. Sorry.
We don't want to drive gas cars anymore.
Yeah, no more gas cars.
Yeah. You can see I'm kind of a misfit here, but don't tell anyone. I've just bought an electric car.
I think it's really great for families and for little babies with all the safety features that these SUVs have.
But what you're really seeing is that technology is going to be very, very important in terms of how we go forward.
It was great to come to the conference because my husband loves cars.
I think I have to buy an EV now. I love my muscle cars, but
I try to stay as healthy as I can so I can make it to the next car show.
This was done with Google's text-to-video model. None of those people exist. None of the sounds exist. None of the music, if there's background music, exists. You can make whole movies with it right now. $250 a month. So you just type in, I want a picture of a lady who's talking about an SUV at an auto show. A couple of minutes later, that's what you get. Full photorealistic quality. Think of the future of Netflix. Think of the future of Spotify. Think of the future of in-car infotainment. So 2027, what's going to happen is some of the things will catch up with us. So China, there was an article a week ago, China built about 160 kilometers of road using only AI, only robots, no humans. So, maybe there's a chance for us as well. Robots will start becoming commonplace. So both in transportation, but also in our lives. And I'll show you some examples. And by then, your phone, which is a supercomputer, will be able to run a model, or your phone or some wearable, doesn't really matter the form factor. Some wearable computer will be able to run a model which is smarter than you, and it will keep track of all of your surroundings for life, and it will be able to adapt to your circumstances. It will also be able to take actions on your behalf. It will have some autonomy. So you'll be able to say, all right, go and buy the same things for groceries which we bought last week. This is an example which I'm sure all of you know. Autonomous driving is here. It's just a matter of time. And also autonomous delivery is here. We'll have all kinds of robots delivering all kinds of things to everywhere. And they can be four-legged, they can be drones, and they can be delivering pizzas, but at the same time, they can be delivering other stuff as well. This is a thing which we're seeing, across the pond. It's not too far away. And then this is an exponential curve as well. We saw what happened to some of the Russian bombers a week ago. Then there is countermeasures to those drones as well. That's a microwave weapon prototype from the UK. So in order to take the drones down from the air. And this is a Figure 2 robot working in a BMW plant. took the short video because we're short on time. Figure is just one of maybe 5 or 6 companies which have plans to have 1 billion, with a B, 1 billion humanoid robots by 2035. Others include Tesla, include you know, a Chinese company which is called Unitree. By the way, Unitree's robot, the humanoid robot, the cheapest one costs $15,000. And there is a dog version which costs $1,500. So change really is the only constant in our lives. And the speed of change is the only thing which will increase. It's only the only thing, okay, maybe taxes is the other thing guaranteed. So we have to take the mega trends into account. As all of us become creators, as all of us have access to those AI tools and we can redesign, rebuild whole business lines, then we have to take the trends into consideration. The first one, the biggest one, is technological change. Then we have deglobalization. This is happening now. We've all seen the policies which are happening. Taxes, no taxes, taxes, no taxes. Demographic change is there. We live in Bulgaria. There's no need to sugarcoat this. Environmental sustainability, urbanization, everybody's moving to the cities, increasing inequality. The haves have so much more than the have-nots, not only, but also because of the technological change. And then we have political uncertainty. Populism was not invented in Bulgaria, where actually there's other countries as well. So all those risks and all those megatrends are listed in a number of reports. I've just given you one example. This is the World Economic Forum map of risks and their interconnections from last year. And you can clearly see that there is a connection between AI and the possibility to polarize society, the possibility to, let's say, run automated troll farms. And this is happening right here in Bulgaria. And then this leads to lack of economic opportunity and so on. So we have to keep the big picture in mind while we're building things, however small they are. In the 21st century, really, if we want to have a thing called a job, the reality is what matters is our network, who we know, our reputation, which follows us absolutely everywhere. There's no such thing as putting something online and then deleting it anymore, and then our ability to adapt. So some key takeaways, because we ran out of time. We have 3 to 5 years to make real difference. We have to ride the wave because the tools are exponential and they're doubling in price performance every 6 months. So you have to use the latest tools available to you. Keep adapting, and really the real opportunity isn't in just using AI, it's in building with it. And the robots are coming. This guy took a picture of him at a trade show, $1,500. Some questions, and I leave you to it, which I'd like you to ask yourselves. So what are some things which you're doing and they're no longer useful? What are some impossible things which you can now do? Think of them. Think about your current business, your current position. Try to disrupt yourself, because otherwise you will be disrupted by someone else, be it your local competition or your global competition. What things can you move to a wider market or democratize? And what things can you move upmarket or personalize? Education, medicine, and so on. So thank you very much.